recipe number one is a pasta recipe that has some great Cajun New Orleans inspired flavors, and it's always a hit. Every time I make it, it's delicious. I saw something like this at a restaurant and I thought I have got to make it at home. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a pound of shrimp, or you can easily cut back on the amount of shrimp. This is a shrimp and sausage Cajun pasta dish. So it doesn't have to be the real big shrimp, whatever's in your budget. Even if you add a quarter of a pound of shrimp, because the pasta is going to stretch it, it's all going to work really well in this recipe. So I've got about a pound, and I'm going to season it up with about a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. And at home, let it sit in this Cajun seasoning just for a few minutes. I just want to coat it and give that shrimp some nice Cajun flavor. And I've got peeled and already deveined shrimp. This is just, I like buying shrimp, frozen bags of it, especially when it goes on sale. It comes in normally like a 2-pound bag, and then I can just take out what I need when I need it, and it's a great way to get your seafood without spending a ton of money. So a little bit of olive oil in a nice big skillet, and we're going to get this shrimp party started. This shrimp cooks very, very quickly, and that's why I'm starting it ahead of time. I don't want to overcook it, so just cooking it on one side, and then I'll flip it over and cook it on the other. Smells delicious with that Cajun seasoning. You can make your own Cajun seasoning just with cayenne pepper and garlic powder and garlic, or an onion powder and some different ingredients like that. Or you can buy, they now have some really nice different blends right at the grocery store already blended up for you. And some are spicier than others, so be careful on that. Whenever I'm doing jambalaya or Cajun cooking, I like to take it easy and serve hot sauce on the side, because, or at least start with a little bit of Cajun seasoning, and then, unless it's a brand I'm real familiar with, because like I say, all Cajun seasonings are not created equal. Some are very mild, others are really smoking hot. So you can always add more, but once it's in there, it's really hard to get that heat out. Okay, so this is a fettuccine. So I'm going to drop some fettuccine noodles. A couple of them decided they did not want to get in there. Into my boiling water. Get that going. It's always important to season your water with just a pinch of salt. Because it's really the only way to get that seasoning in there. As I mentioned, the shrimp cooks very, very quickly, and we're going to put it back in the pot. So just really once over, and then I want to get it out of here and continue with the rest of this recipe. This is going to have a really delicious Cajun cream sauce. So it's like an Alfredo with a little hint of Cajun, but it's not going to be over the top spicy unless you want it to be. The shrimp is really already just about there, and as I said, it's going to go back into the pot, so I don't want to overcook it. So at this point, I'm going to get it onto a plate, set it aside, and we'll finish cooking it and put it back in this recipe in just a little bit. Okay, so at this point, we're going to do some andouille sausage, which is that wonderful Cajun sausage. Smoked sausage, got some great Cajun seasoning. It used to be a little bit hard to find. These days, you can find it right at the grocery store. And we're frying it up because it's going to basically give it some great flavor and get some of the fat from it, and we're going to cook some onion and some pepper in that. So I'm going to dice up some green pepper and some red pepper, but whatever colored peppers you had, that would work great. You can slice it, you can dice it. Actually, I think I'm going to do some pretty thin strips. So this is a colorful dish too, lots going on. I'm going to add my onion to the sausage, and if I need to, depending on how lean that andouille is, if I need a little bit more fat, I can add a little bit more oil. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so in goes our green pepper. And I really like the idea of using some red pepper too. These are just sweet peppers, they're not spicy at all. It's going to be very colorful, pretty. They have purple peppers in the summer. That would be fun to do this with. Sometimes you see them at the farmers markets. Purple is, you know, that Mardi Gras kind of color. Okay. And this is just going to take a minute or so. You can see the sausage already starting to brown up. Now we're going to do a little bit of garlic. 2 cloves of fresh garlic. So it's like an Alfredo sauce with a little bit of a kick. Very careful always when we're using fresh garlic. You want to get it in there, but you don't want to burn it. I can tell we just need a little bit more oil or butter, so we'll do a little butter. It's up to you if you wanted to add that. Or you could put that in with the shrimp, cook the shrimp with butter instead of the oil. Now we're going to start making our sauce, which is so easy. A little bit of chicken stock, which is going to deglaze that pan and get all the great bits up from that pan. And heavy cream. Tomorrow's the day that everything changes. So that's, I guess, the tradition, to go crazy on Fat Tuesday and go ahead and have all your naughtiness as far as food goes. So we've got the heavy cream and the butter in there. Yeah, this is not a low-cal one, but man, is it good. So I'm just going to wait for that sauce to come to a simmer, and then we're going to add some more, a little bit more Cajun seasoning, depending on how hot we like it. Again, this isn't a real spicy dish unless you want it to be. And once it starts to heat, we're also going to add some Parmesan cheese, which is going to make it like an Alfredo. Let me check our pasta. It's doing good, but we're not there yet. So I want to cook it, but not overcook it. And I'm just going to get to work on chopping up some scallions, which are going to go on the top. I've been lucky enough to go to New Orleans a couple of times, and it is such a neat city, but I haven't been since Katrina, so I'm really excited to go back. But it is one of those places where you just literally eat yourself away around town. You know, it's just all about the food and of course the music and the sights and things like that. But I love just exploring the city by foot and finding those hole-in-the-wall places, going on a gumbo tour where you just have, you know, go to different gumbo places all day and pick your favorite, or a muffaletta, that great muffaletta sandwich. Got to start your day in New Orleans with a beignet, which is their version of a donut. There's a place that's open 24 hours, I believe it is anyway, and it's called Café du Monde, and they are known for these hot, warm, I don't know how to, pillows of dough, I guess is a great way to describe them. And they sprinkle powdered sugar over the top, and they have them with coffee. And it's the greatest people watching, because I would go in the morning, but some of the people you'd see had been up all night long, that you'd see walking around on the street. So it was great people watching. I was there, you know, bright and early after I'd had a full night's sleep with my coffee and my donuts, but some of those people were just stumbling in from Bourbon Street. So just a fun place to go. Okay, so now our sauce is starting to boil. So at this point, we're gonna whisk in or just stir in some grated Parmesan cheese, and that's gonna thicken the cream sauce a little bit. Although it's not gonna be a real thick sauce, we didn't need to use flour or roux or anything. The Parmesan cheese is gonna do that as it cooks down with that heavy cream. When we toss that with the pasta, it's going to really coat the pasta nicely. This smells so delicious. At this point, our shrimp is going to go back in with all those great Cajun flavors and any juices that accumulate on the plate. I'm doing this today with shrimp and sausage. You could certainly do it with chicken or straight up just the shrimp or just the sausage, so it's kind of more of a method. But this is just a winner of a dish. It smells, wow, smells so good. So our pasta is done. Just going to drain that. And I'll just add that to the pot just to coat those noodles really well. And when we come back, I'll plate it up, and we've got some other really fun ideas for today, or really anytime. If you're craving Cajun food and you want to spice things up in the kitchen, we've got you covered. A new twist, a new way on how to make one of my favorites, jambalaya, and dessert time too. The most over-the-top cupcakes, perfect for a Mardi Gras themed party. They actually have a donut hole inside the cupcakes, yet they are naughty. And later also chocolate bourbon pecan pie. I can hardly wait. So stay with us. We'll be back.